on your trip, you're also heading to Italy to meet the newly elected Meloni government. What do we mainly trade with Italy right now, and are there any extra opportunities there?
Well, the purpose of my trip to Italy, it's really an add-on to this more multilaterally focused trade discussion here at Davos with the WTO. But it is an important opportunity here in Davos with EU ministers and representatives, and in Italy over the weekend and early next week to put the case over the Australian-EU FTA in particular, to make it really clear that we want to see an agreement reached soon with the EU. We want to see a high-quality agreement that provides market access for Australian businesses, and in particular, that deals with the questions of agriculture. I mean, there are very significant impediments to Australian agricultural market access to the European Union. I'm very keen to make the case on behalf of Australian agriculture directly to EU ministers, but also to governments like the government of Italy, the new government. I want to make sure that they hear the strong case for high quality Australian produce, and making a strong argument against protectionism and for agriculture market liberalisation.
Yeah, let's talk a bit more about that EU free trade agreement. I think one of the elements to it is Europeans want to protect some words like Prosecco and Parmesan cheese. Can you just talk to us a little bit more about that?
Well, there's a very strong position advanced by the European Union to protect what they call geographical indicator names. So feta cheese, Parmesan cheese, Prosecco. Your viewers will be familiar with that we now call what we used to call Australian champagne, Australian sparkling wine, because our French partners had an objection to using the geographical indicator name for champagne. That's spread to an approach that has been all about trying to remove the right of Australian producers to use geographical indicator names. Now, that is one of the last issues that will be resolved in the EU negotiations. It's a very difficult issue for a series of Australian producers. We've had representations on behalf of all of these, but in particular for Prosecco makers in Australia. I mean, the truth here is that Australia hasn't gone to Europe and picked out these geographical indicators and applied these names to products that we make here. What's happened is European migrants coming to Australia, settling in Australia, have brought their wine varieties, their food processing techniques with them. And it's been an important part of our multicultural story, the development of an Australian food culture, an Australian agricultural production system that has got its roots right around the world. Now, these are going to be very difficult issues in the context of the agreement, and I'm very keen to make representations directly to the Italian government to make sure that the Australian voice is heard and to stand up on behalf of Australian industry and Australian agriculture.
And just quickly, how far off are we from coming to an agreement there with the EU?
Well, negotiations are very well advanced, and that they are proceeding. It is always vitally important that we make it really clear to our friends in the European Union that we want to see an agreement with the EU. It's a very important market for Australia, but it's never an agreement at any costs. It's got to be a high quality agreement. I want to see progress being made, particularly over those difficult issues in agricultural market access, but also more broadly across the economy. This agreement should see the growth of enormous opportunities for Australian exporters. It should see access to a whole range of products for Australia. We want to see an open trading relationship with the European Union delivered through this agreement. But we'll take the time that is necessary to make sure that this is a high-quality agreement that delivers for Australia.
Well, Tim Ayres, the Assistant Minister for Trade and Manufacturing, thanks for coming on the program today.
Good on you, Ed.